EO Talks, Eastern Oregon's very own talk show, only here on EO Alive.
And thank you for joining us today. I am here again for another CHD's MAT program update, and it's good to have Corey and Brooke with me today. Thank you guys for jumping on. And we have a big event coming up here, and we'll get to that here in a minute. But just briefly, when is that event, Corey? Is it this Friday? Is that right?
That is correct, Brent. It is this Friday from 2 to 6. And like I said, we'll talk about it kind of later on, but I got a lot more details for you guys. But yep, 2 to 6 this coming up Friday the 11th. Hope to see you guys there.
And so then the part of the reason we're talking today is kind of in preparation for that event and to kind of highlight the issues. So Brooke, let's start with you. Kind of let's talk about the increase of opioid addiction. Is that something, I mean, we've heard about it in the news for years.
Yeah.
How has that come to us? I mean, is that something that we've experienced here in La Grande? Kind of talk about that a little bit.
So the opioid addiction has always been a problem. But the last few years, it has rapidly become the issue that it's become today. There's been 3 major waves in the ride of opioid use and overdose. It first started in the early 1990s with, of course, the rise in prescription opioids. And then we saw another big wave of it in 2010 with, that's when we saw a lot of overdoses with heroin. And now the newest wave has begun in about 2013 with the rise of fentanyl. The opioid crisis doesn't just affect a certain demographic. It crosses all barriers. It has no consideration for age, race, sexual identity, economic status, or even spiritual beliefs. It's really something that affects all of us, whether directly or indirectly, that being of an addict or the loved ones of an addict that get tossed in the crossfire of it. We really hope to provide care for individuals struggling, and we also want to help end the stigma that's associated with opioid epidemic and substance use disorders.
And we've talked about the different issues kind of segmented of the MAT program over the last several weeks. And anyone who wants to catch up on that information can find that series of videos and check into that, because we've zeroed in on the treatment and the chemical side of it, the housing side of it, the complications. We've spent quite a bit of time drilling down into the individual aspects of the program that you guys are offering. But the reason that in is ironic or awful, or both, depending on how you look at it, that the reason that this has become so important right now to talk about the Narcan kits that you guys are making available is that in the recent past, the opioid medication, not the medication that you get over the counter, but the medication, the pills that you might buy on the street to continue your habit or to deal with your pain or whatever that might be, that it is fentanyl. Some of that is fentanyl laced, and that has caused deaths here in the valley. And so, I don't know, talk about fentanyl and and how that has affected us here locally.
So as a lot of people in the community are aware, there has been a rise in overdoses, and a lot of those are due to the fentanyl. We're really doing all that we can to spread awareness about the dangers of fentanyl. On average, fentanyl is about 50 to 100 times more potent than morphine, and it can be incredibly deadly if misused. So we want to spread the awareness and educate people on the capabilities of this drug. In addition to the treatment, the MAT team provides, we have been working hard and spreading the awareness about the opioid addiction through the radio ads, newspaper ads, social media posts, chatting with you on the EOL Live segments, flyers, and any way that we can get public outreach. We are doing a lot of footwork. We really want to make people aware that it's here. It's not going away. It's not always those that you look at and say, you know, they have a problem. It's one of those things where awareness and education is the way to save lives.
Well, and we've talked about that, how that someone can find themselves addicted to opioids by the traditional means that we might think, like drug abuse or whatever the case might be. But also there's a pathway where somebody is recovering from surgery, or they have back pain or whatever the case might be, and just get addicted to that medication. So and the reason we're talking about this Narcan distribution event is that this Narcan is a way, I called it the fire extinguisher that you can put on the fire of an overdose right now. And I've talked to a couple of different people who literally have administered Narcan, and it really does become a life-saving. I mean, literally someone can look like they are gone. They are dead. They've lost their color. They're not breathing, and can come back with the proper exposure to Narcan. And so then you guys are really making an effort to essentially distribute those kits into the local area. And it's come down to this big push, this big event this Friday afternoon. And so, Corey, why don't you talk to us about what you guys have planned, and then I'll show a little bit of a video that you made. So,
yeah, thank you, Brent. Yeah, so like we said in the beginning of the show, this coming up Friday from 2 p.m. to 6 p.m., we have our advertised Narcan drive-through event. The MAT team has worked really hard in putting together these what we call swag bags, which have lots of stuff in them, and I'll go over it. But one of the most important things that it carries is Narcan. So every swag bag will have a kit of Narcan. It will have 2 complete doses in here. And you will get that completely free. There's also directions on how to successfully administer it. So if you have any questions about it, we really do encourage people to come down, and, you know, for anyone who hasn't used it before, the MAT team will be there. We can answer any questions you have. So we really want to use this opportunity to kind of get that outreach to the community about how Narcan can really save lives. In addition to, the Narcan, we'll also get you a couple of stickers. We do have some CHD made stickers for this event. And also every bag will have a t-shirt. So this is a completely free t-shirt. You Narcan save lives. And it has the CHD Hope line on there, which is 562 HOPE. And that will all come in this very nice drawstring bag for opioid awareness with our logo on there, once again, with our phone numbers. So we have roughly about 500 of these bags already created. Shirts range from small to 3XL. So we are totally ready to give these out, while supplies last. So we're really hoping to get a really good amount of interested people coming down, getting a bag and getting more information about this.
That's awesome. Hey, let me show this video so people can get an idea of exactly where it's at. Yeah.
Hey there, EO Alive. This parking lot right behind me here, it's on the corner of Cove and Albany. That's where the Narcan drive-thru event will take place. Come on down this Friday from 2 to 6. You'll see a big gray tent. We'll get you set up with a swag bag and answer any questions you have. See you there.
That information's all still correct, by the way. Yeah, it's a big, great tent. You really can't miss it if you drive by it. We will all be there from 2 to 6. We'll have a lot of the MAT staff there. Yeah, we highly encourage you to come on down. Yeah, so it's going to be a big event. We're really hoping for a really good turnout.
Well, that's good. And to be fair, like I had to persuade Corey, like, no, go out on the corner and do this.
Yeah.
This, so he did it a little bit under duress, but did a really good job. Yeah, because there's nothing like, oh, I know where that sign is, or I've driven by that location, and so then people will have that in their minds. And so I guess, I just 500. That's a lot. I mean, a lot of bags, and it's awesome that you guys can offer that. I don't. Hopefully, I'll have time to come by or just save me one if you would. 'Cause I'd like to have one at the office here, because the point is that I don't know when someone might have an overdose out in the parking lot or right here in the hallway or something, and so there's a lot of things that we do. My dad taught me a long time ago to carry a fire extinguisher in my vehicle, because you'd be surprised at the number. Yeah, you'd be surprised at the number of vehicles that burn clear to the ground on the side of the road because no one has a fire extinguisher.
Mm-hmm.
And
I think that's another important part too, is that we don't just want to Narcan doesn't just have to be in the hands of those that are, actively using. This is for business owners, because you never know. Mm-hmm. And that doesn't mean that somebody's coming to your business to use, but you really never know. This is for the loved ones that have a family member that is actively using, or, young kids that are first experimenting, or elderly people that are, maybe forget that they take their narcotic medication in the morning and take it again. And, this can be used on everybody. It's not just for addicts.
Well, and that's really good. I mean, I guess I kind of look at it as, in a lot of public spaces, you will see a defibrillator, because for someone that has a heart attack right on the spot, and I mean, people can die because of that. And I guess I don't see the issue. I think that it kind of is in that same category, So yeah, no, this is great. Thank you guys for offering this and doing this. And again, that is this Friday, the 11th, from 2 to 6 in the parking lot of CHD. And what is that? That is Cove, and what's the cross street there?
Cove and Albany. Yeah,
Cove,
we'll be right there.
Cove and Albany. Yeah. So, all righty. Well, anything else before we quit, guys?
Please come. We'll answer, every single question you have. That's what we're here for.
And if you can't make it, or somebody that can't make it, if they call 541-562-HOPE, they can let them know that they're interested in some, and we are more than willing to deliver at a time that is better for you.
Great. All righty. Well, hey, thanks you guys for coming on, and appreciate your work. I know that you do it because you care, and you're passionate about it, and we appreciate what you do. And if I get time, I'll come by on Friday afternoon and just check it out. So
good. Sounds good.
Right. All right. Thank you, Eastern Oregon, for being with us, and